Hello, Joes. Today we're going to be taking a look at a figure that everyone and their grandmother has made a video before, but I haven't yet, and I just got it, so I want to do it. And that is Gung-ho. I just got this like today, and I wanted to make a video for it because I like Gung-ho. He's one of my favorite Joes. I'm very happy to have a figure of him, even though I would have preferred to get the retro one, which I probably will at some point. But this is really nice also. Again, nice. This is before they switched to the plasticless packaging, which we are going back to next year. But yeah, so this is what that is, and I like it quite a lot. I really like this box art specifically. I like that we have a nice picture of a customized art for Gung-ho here, and on the sides, both of which they look fantastic. Like they look really good. There's him in the card, of course. Gung-ho on the bottom, classified. All of his special traits, meaning he likes to shoot the jungle, he likes to punch things, he has a grenade, and he is a specialty at being in the jungle. That's exactly what all those things mean. Don't ask questions. Again, the old box art, which I love this. I want a print of this, genuinely. I love this art so much. I would love to have this as a big poster. There's Gung-ho. More art on the side. So yeah, I want to get this open because I really want to take a look at it. So I'll be right back. And here we have Gunnery Sergeant, or eventually Sergeant Major, Gung-ho, Etienne Lafitte. Good old Louisiana boy, and I really like him. I think he's really good. I quite like it a lot. I'm very happy to have him, as he is one of the more classic Joes. He wasn't in the original 82 line. He wasn't in the original 13, but he is one of the more iconic Joes. Again, this is a version of the older figure. It's actually the 7th classified figure that they made, so it's got that sort of futuristic thing that they were going for. You know, he has the Joe Pro on his patch. There's like, he has like a whole bunch of like odd pouches and kind of futuristic space guns, which I'm not for personally, but I don't particularly hate it. I have a lot of other like spare guns that I have been using for other characters that I'll just give him. Like I have a Stalker's big like box mag gun that he had for some reason. I don't know why he had it. I'm gonna give that to him just because that fits more. But he looks really good though on his own. I think he looks fantastic. I really can't wait to get a hold of the retro one as well, just to have them side by side. But just like looking at him, in like, you get him in some really fun poses. He's got a really nice like body mold. Again, this is one of the older figures, and I hope to eventually go through all of the older figures. I'm trying to get a hold of Duke, but Duke is impossible to get a hold of. So I'm gonna try to at some point get. I would love to get this whole line. Like if I could, I would love to get this whole line because I missed out on it early on because I was getting into the Marvel Legends stuff, and I kind of skipped over this, and I wish I hadn't, like, until recently. So yeah, no, I am very happy to have this, and I also ordered a bat, which should be here tomorrow, which I'll be making a video for here soon as well. But I really like him. I think he's really fun. Just getting him into fun poses. You can really get some cool action poses. And again, Gung-ho's one of my favorite Joes, so I'm happy to have him. So let's bring him in a little closer, actually. I was wondering why it looked so dark. I forgot to turn the light on. That makes more sense. But bringing him in close, he looks really good. I really like this sort of like this coat he has on, like this jacket, and you can tell it's armored of some sort because there's a lot of silver paint application here. It's clearly just like a camo leather suit, but with like metal plating underneath, which I think is fun. He's got 3 grenades right here. He's got his Joe Pro right here. A nice splash of blue really helps add to color. Whole bunch of pouches. Oh man, so many pouches. This is his backpack. He has this sort of metal brace on his right forearm, which also has like this little spot for, I don't know, like a PDA or like an iPod or something. But he has these nice brown gloves, which also add a bit of color. There's a lot of color, like a lot more than you'd expect on this Gung-ho figure. There's his tattoo on his chest, which is a little small, but hey, you know, that's just me. He's of course got his hat on. All of this gear, by the way, all of this gear, including his pants, of course, are removable, which I think is really cool. Like it's all like it's additional gear on top of him, which adds like a third dimension, like another layer to him, which would look much better than if they had just like basically just molded all this on. So I appreciate that quite a lot. He has a single shoulder pad on his left arm, which I'm not a huge fan of, like the asymmetry thing going on. It kind of looks like he's got like an arthritis pad on, like Gung-ho's dealing with some rheumatoid arthritis. But yeah, a grenade belt or pouch on his left leg, which has the sort of science fiction-y looking grenades. In my mind, they kind of look like flashbangs or smoke grenades or something, especially compared to these ones, which are like your standard like pineapple coconut grenade situations. Again, loads of pouches. Yeah, camo gear everywhere. This is like a, again, another asymmetry thing going on. This one's molded on. It's not like it's not an actual like another piece. It's on his left knee, which again is just adding to the fact that maybe Gung-ho might have some sort of weird arthritis problem on his left hand side. I don't know. That's just a way that it's looking for me. He has some very nice silver shin pads here, along with some nice black boots. I really like the way he looks, honestly, and he's so big that I can't like get him into the full screen without backing him up because he's super tall. He's definitely one of the bigger Joes that I have. He's actually bigger than Sergeant Slaughter, which feels wrong. But hey, could be accurate for all I know. But no, I really like him a lot. I'm very glad to have gotten this. I wasn't super big on the early line, like especially that first Roadblock and Scarlet and even to the Duke, especially that Beachhead. I hope we get a new Beachhead at some point. But this one really holds up really well for me. I think this looks really good. It's a nice modern interpretation of the classic Gung-ho, because you think of Gung-ho in your head, you think of the bright blue like jacket piece, the green, the big cap, like obviously this is very heavily inspired by that, but it's doing its own thing, which I appreciate. I really like it. I'm very glad to have a hold of it. Let's move on to the articulation here. Take his hat off real quick so you can also see his. That's some Randy Orton hair going on. I don't know, just shave it off, man. At that point, just shave it all off. But yeah, no, he has some pretty solid articulation here. He has a ball joint and a hinge right here at the top of the neck here, so it can do a full 360. Can look a lot better if you take the jacket and the backpack off. But yeah, no, there is also I think there's a joint here at the bottom of the neck, but it's super stiff and I can't get it to move, so I don't want to mess with that too much. There is butterfly joints here on the inside, which are thankfully mostly pretty heavily accessible because the cutouts on the sleeves are fairly big. He can push his arm out that far. There's a swivel here at the shoulder and the upper bicep. He has double jointed elbows, which is nice. Both hands don't have a like downward hinge; they have a side to side hinge, just so you know. And they're on a 360 swivel. There is a ab crunch here, which goes pretty far forward, not very far back unless you take all the accessories off, like I said. There is a dumbbell joint down here at the lower torso, so you can really just get them into some pretty solid range of motion there, which is very nice. There are drop down hips here, which I don't know how I feel about. I'm not huge on drop down hips, but they are there. It's kind of standard for all Joes, so he can kick that far forward and kick not really that far back. He, as far as I know, cannot kick his own butt. His legs are too long for that. There is a swivel here at the upper thigh, which is nice. There's a swivel here at the calf. And like I said, double jointed knees. There is a forward-facing pin and a hinge for the rocker at the feet here. So yeah, pretty solid, standard, average articulation for your Joes, which is, I'm not complaining, because the articulation you get for your Joes is actually quite impressive. So, nice and done, Gung-ho. Now, as for accessories packed with Gung-ho, outside his hat and jacket and all the pieces of his clothes that come off, like I said, he has this very nice backpack, which has these 3 like slots here for all of his weapons, which theoretically you can have all of his weapons on him at any given time. Like here, you take his sort of kind of oddish looking grenade launcher, this futuristic silvery looking one, and you take the grip right there, you hang it there. Kind of. Then you take his, again, futuristic-y looking shotgun, which I don't hate. I would prefer a more realistic looking one. But hey, if you like that, good for you. And you lock it in there. Again, you gotta make sure that this stays in as best as it will. Doesn't really matter though. And then you take his futuristic looking bullpup rifle, which I don't like that. I'm not a fan. And you lock it in there. And look at that, you got all of his weapons, which you can then take Gung-ho and lock it in there, put it right in there. If I can get it in right. And there you go. All of his weapons are on him, technically. So yeah, you can have all of his weapons stored on him at any given time, which is nice. I don't think I'll be doing that, but it is an option for those of you who want to do it, so you can do it. Now let's take a look at the size comparisons. Now, like I said before, he is bigger than the Sarge. He also shares some body parts with the Sarge, specifically the arms, the like crotch area, and then I believe the upper like thigh, like these joints right here. I'm fairly certain that those are shared between them. Besides that, that appears to be all like the trading that they've done together. I believe he has Roadblock's hands. I think that's what they are, as well as his boots and maybe his lower legs. I'm not sure, but again, it works really well, especially for someone like Gung Ho. So yeah, solid size comparison. Now Gung Ho is a Recondo expert, so who better to put him next to than the guy whose name is actually Recondo? Yeah, again, wow. Gung Ho is a big boy. They grow him big down south, I guess. So yeah, he is about another almost a full head taller than Recondo, who is about the height of your average Joe. So, oh boy, don't get his bad side. Here he is with my last review, that being Baroness, and wow, again, size difference, quite a bit. Yeah, he's about a full head taller than her. So yeah, shout out to that episode where she tried to kidnap his family, and they ended up kidnapping her. So yeah, don't mess with Gung Ho. And for one last size comparison, here he is next to your average Black Series. Never mind, that's not happening. And now for one last size comparison, here he is next to your average Black Series figure. We have the Black Series Boba Fett, which, oh, Boba, you look so short next to literally everyone I have ever done in a video with you. And here he is next to your average Marvel Legends figure, which is the Punisher. That is a bit more inaccurate scale, I think. But man, Boba looks super short next to literally everyone. Sorry, buddy. So yeah, that is Gung Ho, a figure I'm very happy to finally have in 6-inch scale. I really hope that I can get a hold of the retro one as well. I really like it. I hope that you liked it. If you have any requests of anything you'd like me to do, please put in the comments below. I would be more than happy to pick up any specific figure you're looking for or any specific line you're into. I'd be more than happy to check them out. Yeah, really glad I got a hold of this. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please like, comment, subscribe, everything that I need for the algorithm to put me further onto the home pages of people so I can make more of these videos that I like to make. Thank you all so very much. Have a great day.